It was a cold evening. The wind was strong, and the sky looked gray. People were walking fast, holding their jackets, rushing home. But no one saw the small boy sitting alone. On the side of the road, Dada's name was Ion. He was only 10 years old. His hair was messy, his clothes were dirty, and his eyes looked tired. Tired from pain, tired from hunger, tired from being invisible. Ayan sat on the hard footpath, holding his stomach. He had not eaten anything since morning. His lips were dry, his hands were shaking. People passed by. Some looked at him, then looked away. Some ignored him completely. A few whispered to each other, "Where are his parents? Why is he sitting here? He should go somewhere else." But no one stopped. No one helped. A broken childhood. Ion was not always like this. He had a family once. He remembered his mother's soft hands and his father's warm hugs. But that felt like a dream now. His father died in a road accident 1 year ago. His mother got sick after that, very sick. Ion's uncle said they had no money to treat her, so one day, they took her to a hospital far away, and never brought her back. Ion was left with his uncle's family. At first, they said they would take care of him, but slowly, things changed. He was shouted at, he was given the smallest food. Then, one day, his uncle told him, "You're not our problem anymore, go." And just like that, he was alone. The rainfall Ion pulled his knees to his chest as it started to rain, not heavy, just cold drops falling slowly. He had no umbrella, no jacket, only an old t-shirt and torn pants. His feet were bare. His skin had bruises. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Just one roti, please God, just something to eat." A shopkeeper nearby saw him, but instead of helping, he shouted, "Go away, boy, don't sit near my shop. You're bad for business." Ion stood up slowly and walked away. His legs were weak, but he didn't want to cry anymore. He had cried too much already. A cold trash can. He walked to the end of the street and found a trash bin near a closed bakery. The smell was bad, but he was too hungry to care. He searched inside, hoping to find even one old piece of bread. But before he could, a voice stopped him. "Hey, not there." Ion turned around quickly. There, sitting against the wall beside the trash bin, was a man. He looked old, maybe 60, with a long beard and tired eyes. His clothes were worn out. His feet were in slippers full of holes. But he had a calm face, a kind face. The man stood up slowly and walked toward Ayan. He held out a small brown paper bag. "Here, take this. I saved it for later, but I think you need it more." Ion looked inside the bag. It had one paratha and a half-eaten banana. Stomach growled loudly. He looked at the man, unsure. "You're giving it to me?" The man nodded. "Yes, little one." Ion took the food and sat on the ground. He ate slowly, every bite like gold. Tears rolled down his cheeks, not from sadness this time, but from the feeling of being seen. The mysterious man. After Ion finished eating, he looked at the man. "What's your name?" "People call me Babaji." The man smiled. "Why did you help me?" The man didn't answer right away. He looked at the street, at the people walking fast, and said, "Because I know how it feels when no one sees you." They sat together in silence for a while. Then Ion asked, "Are you homeless?" "Yes." "Do you live here?" "I live wherever the night takes me." "Do you have family?" The man looked away for a second. His smile faded. "I did, a long time ago." The night grows colder. As it got darker, the streets became quiet. Shops closed. Lights turned off. Ion felt scared. "Where should I go now?" The man looked at him kindly. "You can stay here. I'll sit near. No one will hurt you." Ion hesitated, but nodded. He sat down beside the man, using a newspaper as a mat. The man removed his shawl and gently covered Ion's shoulders. "Thank you," Ion whispered. "Sleep, little one. Tomorrow will come with something new." Suspense ending in the middle of the night. Ion woke up. He heard soft humming. The man was awake, staring at the sky and singing a quiet song. Then, Ion saw something strange. From the man's pocket, something shiny fell, a gold chain, with an expensive-looking emblem. Ion quietly picked it up. It looked very valuable. Why would a homeless man have this? Before Ion could ask, the man took it gently from his hand and said, "That's a story for another day." And with that, he smiled. But his eyes were full of secrets. The next morning, the sun rose slowly. Its light touched the streets, the buildings, and the quiet corners where forgotten people slept. Ayan opened his eyes. He was lying under a shawl, beside a quiet tea shop that hadn't opened yet. He sat up quickly, remembering everything from last night. Babaji. But the old man was gone. The spot where he sat was empty. Only the faint smell of smoke and the sound of pigeons remained. Ion looked around, confused. Did he leave? Did he go forever? But just as he stood to walk away, he saw something beside him. A small surprise. It was a small brown paper bag, just like the one from last night. Inside was a warm boiled egg, a small bun, and a folded note. Ion opened the note slowly. It read, "You're not alone. Eat well. I'll see you again." Ion felt a strange feeling in his chest. It wasn't hunger. It was something else. Hope. A day alone, the whole day. Ion walked the streets. He didn't beg, he didn't cry. He just watched people, hoping to see Babaji again. He sat near a fruit cart, hoping for leftovers. He waited outside his school, watching other boys laugh and play. He wondered, would I still be in school if my father was alive? Harsh words again in the afternoon. Ion stood outside a restaurant. He didn't ask for food. He just stood there, staring inside through the glass. He watched people eat pizza, drink cola, and smile with their families. But then, a waiter came out. Go away, kid. Don't stand here. He pushed Ion roughly. Your derby customers don't? Like beggars outside. Ion didn't speak. He just walked away slowly, trying to hide his tears. But someone was watching from across the street. A man sitting near the trash can. The same man, Baba G. A quiet return that evening. When Ion returned to the tea shop to sleep, Baba G was already there, waiting. He smiled. I saw what happened today, he said. Ion sat beside him. Why are people so cold? He asked softly. The man didn't answer for a moment. Then he said, because they have forgotten pain. And people who forget pain, forget how to be kind. A hot meal that night, something different happened. Baba G stood up and said, come with me. Ion followed him through the streets. They reached an old Daba roadside food stall. It was closing. The owner looked surprised to see Baba G you again. He said, one plate, bye. Baba G replied, just one, and a little extra, if you can. The man nodded and handed over a parcel. They walked back to their sleeping spot. When they opened the bag, it was warm, dal roti and a few gulab jamun. Ion's eyes widened. For me, for us. Baba G smiled. But you eat first. A story in the dark as they ate. Baba G looked at the moon and began speaking. I once had a son. He was your age. He liked to climb trees and eat mangoes. Ion listened carefully. What happened to him? Baba G's voice softened. He went far away, too far to come back. Ion didn't ask more. He saw the pain in Baba G's eyes. He just said, I can be like your son if you want. Baba G looked at him. For a moment, something lit up inside his tired eyes. You already are. The mysterious package the next morning. Ion woke up earlier than usual. Baba G was still sleeping. He quietly walked to the corner of the street to stretch. That's when he noticed something strange. A large box was lying behind a parked van. It had no name, no writing. Ayan looked inside. It had clothes, warm ones, and 3 packets of biscuits, 2 bottles of water, a first aid kit. He picked it up and ran back. Baba G, look. The old man opened one eye and smiled. Seems like someone upstairs is helping too. But Ion noticed something. The tape on the box had a sticker. A very old sticker. A faded symbol. It looked official. He pointed at it. What's this? Baba G looked. And for a second his smile faded. He quickly took the box and put it aside. Old stuff. Don't worry about it. But Ion could tell Baba G was hiding something. Morning light slowly warmed the streets. The city yawned back to life. Horns, footsteps, busy voices. But something had changed for Awayahayan. He was not just surviving now. He was watching the pattern. The strange help. The way things appeared when he needed them most. And always, nearby, somewhere, was Baba G. A pattern begins. The help came often now. One day, Ion found clean socks and a new blanket folded beside his sleeping spot. Another morning, a small envelope had 10 rupees inside. Some days, Baba G would vanish, and the next day something helpful would show up. A tiffin of warm khichdi, a notebook and pen, even slippers in the right size. It didn't feel like luck. It felt like someone was planning it, and Ion knew who. Following the old man one evening, Ion pretended to sleep early. He lay still under his blanket while Baba G sat nearby, eyes closed. But when the old man quietly stood up and walked away, Ion opened his eyes. Now's my chance, he whispered. He followed Baba G from a distance. Through the alleys, across the park, past an old tea stall. Baba G moved slowly, but with purpose. Like he knew exactly where he was going. The abandoned building. Guyan followed him to the edge of town, to a place where no one really went anymore. There stood a large, broken-down abandoned building, walls cracked, paint peeling, windows shattered. Baba G stopped outside and looked around. Then, carefully, he slipped through a hidden side door. Ion waited a few seconds, then quietly went in after him. Inside the hidden world, the building was dark inside. Dust floated in the air, but Ion walked quietly, his heart beating fast. He turned a corner and saw a dim light coming from a room. He peeked through the doorway. What he saw shocked him. The secret room. The room looked nothing like the outside. It was clean, quiet, and organized. On one side were bookshelves stacked with old books. On the other side were boxes, each labeled with neat handwriting. In the middle was a wooden desk, and on it, a laptop, a diary, and a black and white photo framed. A frame showed Baba G, but not as a poor man. He was in a military uniform, standing tall, full of pride. Ayan gasped softly. Who are you? Just then, he heard a voice. You followed me. Ion turned quickly. Baba G stood behind him. A soft truth. Baba G didn't look angry. He smiled, not with his mouth, but with his eyes. Curiosity is good, he said softly, but dangerous if you're not ready. Ion looked down. I'm sorry. Don't be, Babaji said. You have a right to wonder, but what I'm about to tell you must stay between us. Ayan nodded quickly. The man behind the closed Babaji walked to the photo frame and picked it up. He stared at it. Long ago, I was a different man. People knew me, respected me. I wore medals, gave speeches, traveled the world. Ayan blinked. You were a soldier, yes. Then a businessman. Then nothing. Why nothing? Babaji's face became still. Because when my son died, I stopped living. A new life in the shadows. Babaji sat down. Money didn't help me. Friends didn't stay. Fame felt fake. So I left it all. I walked out of my world and into theirs. Whose world? The forgotten ones? The poor? The broken? The invisible? Like I became. Ayan listened, his eyes wide. But you help people now. Quietly, Babaji nodded. I kept a little money hidden. I use it only for others. The promise. Babaji walked to a shelf and pulled out a small brown file. He handed it to Ayan. These are stories of people I helped. And now, I'm adding yours. Ayan opened the file and saw a page with his name. Ayan Khan, age 10, status, rescued, gifted, food, safety, trust. At the bottom was one line, still in progress. The old abandoned building had now become Ayan's favorite place. It wasn't big, it wasn't beautiful, but it felt safe. It felt like home. Babaji allowed Ayan to visit the secret room every few days. And each time, Ayan learned something new about the world, about life, about Babaji. And about himself. The man with two lives. One day, Babaji opened an old wooden box. Inside were certificates, old ID cards, and a few medals. These are from my old life, he said. Ayan held up one ID. It read, Colonel Rafiq Ahmed, National Defense Service Colonel. Ayan whispered. Babaji smiled lightly. Yes, I was a soldier once. I trained others. I served the country. Ayan's eyes widened. Why did you hide all this? Because the world loves your uniform, not your pain. The locked notebook. Ayan then pulled out the small notebook Babaji gave him earlier. It was still locked with a tiny brass latch. Will you give me the key now? He asked. Babaji looked at the notebook, then at Ayan. Not yet. There are still things I haven't told you. Like what? Babaji's face became serious. Like the people who don't want this story to come out. Ayan didn't understand at first. You mean enemies? Yes, Babaji said quietly. People from my old world. People who wanted me to disappear. A mysterious. Fatoyan was cleaning the shelf when he found a photograph behind some books. He pulled it out. It was a group picture. Men in suits standing beside Babaji. One man looked familiar. Who is this? Ayan asked, pointing. Babaji's face turned cold. That man's name is Wasif Malik. We worked together. He was my business partner, and my biggest mistake. Ayan stared. What did he do? He took everything. When I was weak, my company, my savings, my reputation. Ayan's small hands clenched. That's not fair. Babaji nodded. Life isn't fair, little one, but truth always finds a way to come out. Trouble comes. Looking that night as Babaji and Ayan sat by the tea stall, a shiny black car stopped on the road across from them. A man in dark glasses stepped out. He didn't look poor. He didn't look kind. He stared at Babaji for a long time. Then, he left. Ayan felt something strange. Who was that? Babaji didn't answer right away. His face looked serious. Someone from the past, which means the past is waking up. Teaching the boy over the next few days, Babaji became more focused. He taught Ayan how to read faster, write clearly, speak with confidence, remember details. Why are you teaching me all this? Ayan asked. Because the world respects people who know how to speak, but I'm just a street boy. Babaji stopped him right there. No, you're more than that. And one day, you will speak for others who are never heard. Ayan smiled. He believed him. A shock in the newspaper one morning. Babaji bought a used newspaper from a roadside vendor. He looked at the front page and froze. Ayan leaned in. There was a photo of Wasif Malik. The headline said, Wasif Malik announces new charity program to help street children. Babaji crushed the paper in his hand. Lies, he whispered. He's trying to make himself look good, using the people he once destroyed. He wants attention, power, control. Ayan asked. Will he find us? Babaji looked at the street with narrowed eyes. He already has. The night was silent. The wind outside the broken window whispered softly. Inside the secret room, Ayan sat on the old floor, holding the notebook, and the key. His hands shook slightly. Babaji sat nearby, silent, waiting. With a slow breath, Ayan inserted the key into the tiny lock and turned it. Click. The notebook opened and the truth finally came out. Page 1. The Dream Life. The first page was written in neat handwriting. My name is Colonel Rafiq Ahmed. Once I had everything. A family, a business, and respect. But I lost it all, to one man. Ayan turned the pages slowly. There were pictures of Babaji in his younger days, smiling with his wife and young son, standing beside army tanks, receiving awards from ministers, giving speeches to large crowds. I had earned peace. After serving the country, I started a company, a business to help poor soldiers find jobs. People believed in me. They trusted me. until Wasif Malik joined me. Page 2, the betrayal. The next few pages told a dark story. Wasif Malik came into Babaji's life as a friend, as a supporter. He smiled too much, talked too sweet, but I didn't see the poison behind his eyes. Bit by bit, Wasif took control of the company accounts. He slowly moved the money. He changed documents. He fooled the press. And finally, he blamed Baba G for fraud. Overnight, my name became dirt. The newspapers called me a liar. The government cut my pension. People looked at me with disgust. Ayan couldn't believe it. That's so unfair. You were the real helper. Babaji nodded. And no one cared. Page 3. The deep fall. Babaji lost everything. His wife died of a heart attack. His son disappeared. Some say he ran away. Others say something worse. I stopped fighting, Babaji wrote. I gave up. I left the world behind. He sold his home, gave away the little money he had left, and vanished. I wanted silence. I wanted to feel like the people no one sees. But I didn't want revenge. I wanted something better. Justice. Page 4. The real mission. That's when Ayan saw something unexpected. Inside the notebook were names and addresses. Photos of street children. Notes beside each one. Rani, age 6, gave her a coat and shoes. Tariq, age 11, arranged school papers. Salma, age 8, saved from street gang. And now, Ayan, age 10, in progress. Ayan's eyes filled with tears. You've helped all these kids. Quietly, Babaji smiled. That's the mission I chose to do for others. What no one did for me. Page 5. The secret plan. The last pages showed something even more shocking. Babaji had been quietly collecting evidence against Wasif Malik. Photocopies of stolen papers, a video of Wasif meeting illegal traders, witness letters from old employees, even a signed confession from a scared accountant. I've been building this case for 5 years, Babaji said. But no one would believe a man sleeping on the footpath. He looked at Ayan, but they might believe, a brave boy with the right voice. Ayan's turning point. Ayan closed the notebook. He looked up at Babaji, his eyes full of fire. What do I need to do? Babaji placed a hand on his shoulder. Learn, speak, be smart. Be careful. We're not just surviving now. We're preparing. Trouble grows. The next morning, more news came. Wasif Malik was now appearing on big TV shows. He had started a charity school for poor kids, but Babaji knew it was all fake. He's using children to get fame, Babaji said. He wants to show the world he's a hero. Ayan looked at the photo on the newspaper. He looks kind, Babaji replied. The most dangerous people hide behind kind faces. A strange meeting that evening. Something strange happened. A fancy car stopped near Ayan and Babaji's sleeping spot. A tall man got out. He walked straight up to Babaji and smiled. Rafiq Saab, he said. Babaji stood up, calm but firm. You know I don't use that name anymore. Still, the man said, you've become active again. That's dangerous. He looked at Ayan. New friend? Huh, cute. Shame if anything happened to him. Ayan stood up, unafraid. You can't scare us. The man chuckled. Brave, but foolish. He gave Babaji a card. Think about it. Stay quiet. Stay forgotten. Then he left. Ayan looked at Babaji. That man works for Wasif. Yes, Babaji said. And now, he knows we're ready. It had been a few weeks since Ayan opened the notebook, and everything was changing now, not just for him, but for many. Babaji's quiet mission was growing, and Ayan was no longer a hungry, invisible boy. He was becoming a voice. The school with no name. Early one morning, Babaji took Ayan to a small building in a quiet street. It didn't look like a school. But when they entered, Ayan saw a whiteboard, a few desks, some chairs, and 4 other kids, all like him, street kids, abandoned, forgotten. But today, they were holding pencils. A kind woman in a green dupatta smiled and said, Welcome, Ayan, you're home now. Ayan blinked. I can study here, Babaji nodded. This is the school I built, quietly, secretly, with the help of those who still believe in truth. A hidden network. As Ayan began learning again, math, reading, writing, he also began noticing something bigger. More children were coming, one by one. Each with a story. One girl had escaped a child marriage. A boy was found working at a mechanic's shop. Another had been beaten by relatives. They came broken, but here they were fixed, not with money, but with care. Babaji was building something the world had forgotten, a place for healing. Ayan learns the power of words. After class one day, Babaji sat with Ayan. Your voice is your biggest strength, he said. Speak with truth, and people will listen. He gave Ayan a small recorder. Speak into this. Practice. Tell your story. So each night, Ayan would press the red button and say, My name is Ayan. I was thrown away, but someone picked me up, not for pity, but for purpose. And slowly, his fear became power. A dangerous visitor one evening. As the children were playing near the back of the building, a man came with a camera. He said he was from the Wasif charity program. He smiled too much, asked too many questions, took too many pictures. Something felt wrong. When Babaji came out, the man quickly said, We're just making a video, for good cause. But Babaji's face turned hard. You're not here to help. You're here to watch. The man left. But now Babaji knew Wasif had found them. The evidence folder that night. Babaji opened an old file in the secret room. He had gathered every proof of Wasif's fake charities. Bank transfers, false receipts, photos of children who were never helped, voices of ex-workers who were threatened. He handed the file to Ayan. "This is our sword," Ayan asked. "But how do we use it?" "With truth," Babaji said. "But truth needs the right time and the right place." A plan begins the next day. Ayan stood before his class and read a speech. It was short, simple, but powerful. "We were thrown on the street, people stepped over us. But someone saw us, and now we stand." Babaji watched with pride. "Later," he told Ayan, "we're going to record your words. Share your story, but not online. Then where? In front of the only people who matter, the ones who lost hope." The call from the past that evening. Babaji received a phone call from an unknown number. He picked it up. A slow, heavy voice said, "You've built something again. You just don't learn, do you?" It was Wasif. "This time," he said, "you won't just lose your name, you'll lose them too." Babaji didn't react. He looked out the window where Ayan and the others were laughing. "Then," he replied, "the more you try to silence the truth, the louder it grows." He hung up. The courtroom was cold and silent. The sound of shoes, papers turning, doors closing. Everything felt heavy. Babaji and Ayan sat quietly at the back. The judge had not yet entered, but the air was already full of pressure. Ayan held the file tightly. In his lap it had all the proof, all the truth. Today, they were not hiding anymore. The enemy appeared suddenly. The main courtroom door opened. A group of civilian men walked in. In the middle of them was Wasif Malik, smiling, confident. Clean suit, dark sunglasses. He looked around like he owned the place. Then, his eyes met Babaji's. He stopped smiling. Face to face, Babaji stood and slowly walked up to him. The courtroom was silent. Two men who once stood side by side, now stood face to face, as enemies. Wasif leaned in and whispered, "You're wasting your last years in courtrooms." Babaji replied softly, "You spent your best years stealing. I will spend mine fighting for the truth." Wasif chuckled. "No one listens to old men and street boys." "They do," Babaji said, "when they speak with proof." The trial begins. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The trial began. Wasif's lawyer spoke first. "My client is a respected businessman. He runs schools, charities, and gives food to the poor." He showed pictures, awards, video clips. People in the courtroom nodded, but Babaji sat calmly. He knew their turn was coming. The evidence now, it was Babaji's chance. Ayan stepped forward, nervous, but brave. He opened the folder and said loudly, "These papers show fake bank transfers. These pictures show empty schools. And this voice recording is his own accountant speaking the truth." The courtroom became quiet. Babaji played the audio. "Yes, Wasif Malik used the money. The children never got anything," he threatened. Anyone who spoke, people looked shocked. The judge raised his eyebrows. "Ayan's speech then?" the judge asked. "And who are you, young man?" Ayan looked at the judge, then at Babaji, then took a deep breath. "I'm Ayan. I was thrown away like garbage. I slept on the streets. No one looked at me, but Babaji did." He held up the notebook. "He gave me this. And now, I give you the truth." People in the courtroom listened, not just with ears, but with their hearts. Public reaction outside the courtroom. News spread fast. Reporters gathered. Headlines appeared on screens. "Boy speaks truth in court." Wasif Malik accused of fake charity. "Old soldier fights for street kids." Babaji and Ayan became the talk of the town. The forgotten man and the invisible boy now had the world's attention. Wasif fights back, but Wasif wasn't done. The next day, he brought new lawyers. Expensive, aggressive, loud, they tried to say. Babaji was a mad old man. They said Ayan was trained to lie. They showed edited videos. They even tried to pay off a witness, but Babaji had planned carefully. He had more witnesses, old army friends, former workers, even a street boy who Wasif once hit. They all spoke the same truth. The courtroom was packed. Every seat was full. Reporters stood in every corner. The nation was watching. Today, the judge would announce the decision. And finally, the truth would come out in front of everyone. Ayan held Babaji's hand tightly. His heart was beating fast. The decision. The judge entered. Silence filled the room. He opened the file slowly, then spoke. "After hearing all sides, after reviewing all evidence, this court finds Mr. Wasif Malik guilty of fraud, public deception, and misuse of charity funds." Gasps echoed across the room. The judge continued. "His fake schools will be shut down. His accounts frozen. He will face 5 years in prison, and a full investigation will begin into past activities." Wasif's face turned pale. For once, he had nothing to say. A standing ovation, then something happened no one expected. The entire courtroom stood up. Not for the judge, not for the lawyers, but for Babaji and Ayan. People clapped. Some even cried. Ayan looked around, confused. "Why are they standing?" He whispered. Babaji smiled gently. "Because truth stood up today. And so, did you Ayan on TV that evening? Ayan and Babaji were invited to a national news channel, the anchor said. For years, this man stayed silent. But when he spoke, the country listened. She turned to Ayan. What do you want to say to the world? Ayan looked into the camera and said, don't ignore people who sleep on footpaths. They might carry stories bigger than cities. And don't throw away kids like me. Because one day, they might change everything. A new school opens a few months later. A big event took place in the same area where Ayan once begged for food. A new school building opened clean, modern, and free for every poor child. Its name, Rafiq Ahmed Foundation for Street Children. There was no ribbon cutting by a minister. Instead, Ayan, now wearing a clean school uniform, stood in front of the gate and opened it with a smile. Dozens of street kids walked in. They laughed. They held books. They had hope. Babaji's final gift one morning. Ayan entered the secret room. He found a letter on the desk. Babaji was not there. The letter read, Dear Ayan, you are no longer a student. You are a leader now. I have gone to help others. Somewhere far. Remember, don't wait for heroes. Be one. Babajian read the letter 3 times. His eyes filled with tears. He left without goodbye, he whispered. But somehow Ayan knew. Babaji was never far. The notebook's last page Ayan opened. The notebook again. There was a fresh line written on the last page. Ayan, con status? Rescued, trained, ready. Mission, to find others like him, and light the path. And below it, still in progress.